It's 31 degrees and stormy in Jacksonville, 12 and rainy in Halifax, 12 and rainy in Dublin as well. This is TealTalk, the official podcast for the Jacksonville Jaguars in UK and Ireland. I'm Jay Lawrence. As far as I'm aware, still no relation. He's Key Ramsden. How you doing, Key?
I'm alright, mate. You've added descriptors now, so we don't just have the temperature. We've got 12 different locations and a description for each.
I should add a different location, one more location every single week, and suddenly by week 16 or whatever, the podcast is like an hour and a half long.
It's just the Weather Channel now.
It's just the Weather Channel. All right, so we're going to be joined on this episode from Duuuuval County by Ventrell Miller, somebody actually who can hold his head high after the loss at the weekend against the Houston Texans. He put in a shift. We need to talk about it. We'll also speak with another Jags UK superfan. Big fan of this question as well. It's something that, I'll be honest, I've never actually thought about. But obviously I will be, and I'll be thinking hard about this one. Which current Jag would you like to go on a night out with? It's sort of like that anyway. And with a week or so to go until the Jags touchdown in the UK, we have some very tasty Duuuuval dispatches, Key. Gotta say a big thank you as well. Thank you for making last week's, but not for you. Not saying thank you to you. Want to be clear. For making last week's podcast our biggest ever. I mean, it does help, I suppose, that not only, you have me, you have Key, but you've got Tony Baselli as well coming in after having a pretty horrid flight, but still managing.
That was a really nice chat that you two had. I really enjoyed that, man.
But I mean, he is he's someone that is not afraid to hold back his opinions, is he? And he is also somebody that has the right to give his opinions as well when it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's the best thing about when the Jags lose is listening to Tony and Pete on Happy Hour the next day.
yeah. Again, because they're not scared of just being like, this is how I feel. I am going to talk, and I'm going to talk plainly. I'm going to talk openly. Let's talk about the game, right? Let's talk about the Texans-Jags game. Texans 24, Jaguars 20. There were improvements. I'll put it out there. There were improvements for the Jacksonville Jaguars all over the field against a good Texans team. We spoke about this last week, against a good Texans team. But no one's going to remember that. When we look back into, in several years' time or several weeks' time, no one's going to remember that the improvements in this manner or in this regard. They're going to remember the loss, Key.
Yeah, dude, I had a very strange dream last night. I dreamt that it was week 4 of the NFL season and the Jags hadn't won. They were 0-4. And then I woke up this morning so excited for this first episode of TealTalk and the 2024 season. Can't wait. Dude, you're absolutely right. It was better. But there was still big problems there. Like when you think about... I was thinking about injuries, and I was going to say, surely injuries are playing a part and we have to consider that. But then the Texans had injuries as well. So, I think you take that out. For me, it boils down to two things, and I'm not a professional psychoanalyst, as you know, Jay, but I think even before they got on the field, it didn't look great. I didn't see any pep. I didn't see juice. I didn't see them psyching themselves up massively. It didn't feel right, even before they got on the field. I think that translated to on the field, and I'm going to throw two things out there. Trevor didn't look to be firing. He didn't seem to have a rhythm. I think it was I don't have stats, but 54% completion rate, something like that, which just not good enough. And then I see a lot of people talking about play calling online, and I have to say, for some of it, I can't disagree, man. What do you think?
I think that, again, there were some really good moments I think that the Jags had in that game. One thing that I'd spoke about just a couple of weeks ago, after a couple of weeks of the first 2 weeks where Christian Kirk had 2 passes in both of those games, getting Christian Kirk back involved, especially early in the game. You could see it happening really early in the game. On that first drive, I think you could see that relationship there. Brian Thomas Jr., again, showing that he is a bright spark in the Jags offense. But yeah, you're right. I think it's the inconsistency that's the most frustrating. And I like the word rhythm that you use actually there as well, Key, because the rhythm wasn't there. This is somebody, in Trevor Lawrence, who is a talented quarterback who has shown that. And I still believe he is the future for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But in order to get that offense going, the rhythm is incredibly important. I like the fact that Tank Bigsby was more involved than he has been before. He had a good game, Tank Bigsby. And do you know what as well? Is that we would look back on this. Yes, there were some overthrown passes. Yes, there were some, disappointing moments for the offense. Yes, the manner in the loss, the Texans managing to get a touchdown really late in the game to pull ahead and to get that victory was really disappointing. But if this was a game that if Jags already won 2 games, we're looking at this game being like some positives, some negatives, we move on.
Yeah,
I think it's the combined portfolio almost of work, I think, in this season that we're looking at right now. And at the end of the day, just need the victory. It's just I'm not even that bothered. Well, I am, but you know what I mean? It's not even about how well they're playing. We just need that victory.
Yeah,
Jags just need to get that win.
As we've seen before, a W can turn everything around. We've seen it happen. It can be the start of a streak. So, yeah, absolutely that can happen. And you're totally right. There were some big moments, both sides of the ball. The D pulled out some great stops. There were some fantastic connections and some fantastic runs on the offense. But if that consistency isn't there, they're not going to win games, let alone championships. Do you know what I mean? So get that. It needs to be. It's better than 47-10. It was better than 47-10, but I think another step needs to happen for it to start making a difference this season. Yeah,
you wanted to see a team come out of that miserable defeat against the Bills and to really put their feet down and show what they're all about, really.
Yeah.
And again, there were some positive moments, but there wasn't enough of that vigor, I think, that Jags fans were hoping for. Again, against a good Houston team. They are a good team, but this is a team that the Jags are going to play and have been playing twice every year. And they will be playing them with CJ Stroud, likelihood is, for a long, long time. So it doesn't matter if they're a good team; they still need to try and get the victories. O-line only let up 1 sack, which is improvement on the past few weeks. I think Tank Bigsby got most of the carries in the first half, 90 yards on the ground. It is one of those things where, and it's an every week situation in the NFL. One mistake less, one more pass completed. We're probably having a different conversation right now, aren't we?
100%, man. And yes, I agree with you. They are a good team, but they were there to be beaten.
Yeah, exactly.
On Sunday night.
Just like we've been talking about with the Cleveland Browns. The Bills game aside, right? Just like we're talking about the Cleveland Browns. There to be beaten.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen.
Yeah.
One person that did happen to have a good game and can hold his head high after making his first career NFL start is Ventrell Miller, after coming into it, next man up scenario after Foyer Luakon and Devin Lloyd, neither of those played. And I caught up with him to talk about that game and to talk about how he's feeling about going to London, Key, in just a week's time? About a week's time, not long now. Let's hear from Ventrell Miller. Ventrell, look, not the best result in the world for the Jacksonville Jaguars the last game, but I think that you're somebody that can come out of that with your head held high after that. From a personal perspective, how was it starting your first NFL game?
Good start to my first NFL game. Obviously, wanted to win there, but say individually, I feel like I played well. Got things I could do better, work on. So just gonna work on that to get better the next week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, talk about that whole next man up thing, because obviously, Foyer's out, Devin's out. From that perspective, was it just a case of this is just my time now?
Yeah, for me, it's just always being prepared for the opportunity, and like you said, the next man up, mentality. I think that's just the mentality the NFL holds. So when somebody goes down, because injuries happen all the time, just being ready and trying to take advantage of that opportunity, being prepared for that. So always going out there working.
What's it like, being in the same room as Foyer, somebody who's been so consistent, for the Jaguars? Is there anything that you've learned from him?
Yeah, just Just how smart he is situationally.
Mm.
And I said that's the biggest thing, biggest difference to me. Just the situational football. It's all types of situations that come up in the game, and just being ready for the situations, watching your film and stuff like that. And he does a great job just with knowing the situation, or even providing help if that's something I needed. Asking questions, I can always ask him a question or anything. He'll give me feedback on something I can do better. So, been a great help in the room.
All right, I want to talk you for a second. I want to talk you from Florida, went to Florida as a Gator, get drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. I mean, when that happened, like, was it kind of like a dream? Was it kind of like, I can't believe this has happened? Like, I'm staying in my home state.
Right. That's how I felt. Like I just been moving up the street and
That's it.
I'm a
That's
Florida boy,
it.
so obviously I liked it that. But just been moving up the street, and it's been good. I like this, love the state of Florida, so I'm happy to still be here.
I mean, you actually you got drafted from your draft pick was actually from Fulham. It was from Craven Cottage.
I heard.
From I'm sure from your perspective, you dream of like getting drafted, and you probably have this whole like image in your mind, maybe like Roger Goodell like calling your name out or whatever. But yours was different. Like what was your reaction to that?
I think it was unique, just having a former teammate, and it was in
Yeah.
London, so just definitely that was an interesting one. But ultimately, I was just happy to hear my name called. I say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, speaking of London as well, I mean, that's something that's going to be happening for you in a very short space of time. You're going to London to play these two games against the Chicago Bears, against the New England Patriots as well. I mean, how are you feeling about your trip over the pond?
Man, I'm excited. That's what we call it, the pond. But yeah, I'm excited. Never been to London, so I'm ready to check that out, see what that's talking about over there. Excited to play in front of the London fans. So definitely some good things going on. Ready to get over there.
You got to be honest with me now. What have your teammates been saying about London?
I feel
You got to
like
be
more.
honest with me. You got to
I
be
got you.
honest, good and bad.
I'm gonna be honest. They probably said something about the second hotel. That's the only thing bad they said. Anything, but they said definitely nice views. And we went on a winning streak over there last
Yeah.
year. So that's what we're hoping to do as well next time we go when we go over there.
We're trying to create like a perfect menu for Jags players when they come over of food that they want to introduce us to that they don't think that we have in the UK, or maybe that they want to be having like Ross Matisic. He said that he's bringing some ranch over because we don't really have
Yeah.
like any ranch. We had what was it that Evan Ingram said? I think was it lemon pepper wings he was bringing over. Can you
Yeah.
add anything? Can you chicken and waffles? I think was that Foyer, I think, that said that. So, what
Waffles.
can you add?
I think I'm going along with Evan. Some lemon pepper wings. I can't go wrong with those lemon pepper wings, hot
You want
wings, stuff like that. Yeah.
some hot wings?
Some
Okay.
crispy fries. You can throw some crispy fries in there. Crispy
Crispy
fries.
fries?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll try my best, man. I'm going to try
Uh,
my best. I
I
can't promise
appreciate that.
anything.
That'll mean a lot if I see some lemon pepper wings down there.
You get there, lemon pepper wings. Look, um, I'm also, we have a fan on every week here on TealTalk. So we have a fan on from the UK or Ireland every single week, and we get them to ask like the big question. Now, on this week's episode, it is all about which Jacksonville Jaguar would you like to go on their bachelor party, or would you like to like get on your bachelor party? First of all, do you have an answer for that? Which of your teammates would you like to make sure that you're on their bachelor party for?
Which one of my teammates?
Yeah, someone you think would
Or
be
for the
like have a
fan?
good party. No, no, no. Like which one of your teammates, you think would throw a good party?
Let me see.
Or your type of bachelor party. That could be something chill. That could be something wild.
Let me see. I probably have to go with four, man.
Yeah.
This bachelor party that'll mean a lot, man. My man's still looking to be married out here, so I definitely gotta show up for that one. Hopefully, I'm invited to that one.
And what would your bachelor party be like? Would you go Vegas? Would you go Miami? Or would you make sure it's, something small?
Yeah, I probably nothing too big. I say we'll have some good guests out there, but more laid back. I say chill out the way.
More laid back, more laid back. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for joining me, man. Just one last question. Colts this weekend. Are you focusing on that already? How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I mean, last week happened. Now we on to the next week. So get prepared the same way like we did last week.
Cool, man. Thank you so much for joining us today on TealTalk. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Jay.
Jacksonville Jaguars linebacker Ventrell Miller, somebody who I may or may not be mentioning later on when it comes to the big question.
We'll never know.
We will never know. We will find out. Okay, time for Duuuuval dispatches. Hey, great news for all you signed memorabilia fans. I love getting stuff signed as well. I find it, it's that sort of thing that you just keep forever, in my opinion. On Saturday, October 12th, 2 players will be heading to Sports Direct on Oxford Street to sign your favourite merch. Names for this signing day and the following Saturday on the 19th. They're going to be announced very soon on our social channels. So if you don't follow us, make sure you go and do so. You can follow your retail signing therapy with a visit to the Goldwood pub, which will be Jaguars themed all week. So you're going to be met by the roar of the Jaguars cheerleaders and a Jags legend as well. I'm not just talking about JP. Don't worry. If you're thinking, is it just JP? It's not going to just be JP.
Again.
It's always JP. No, I'm not just talking about JP. Get yourself down there. You can, grab yourself a pint and with your fellow Jaguars. And on the 13th, the University of Florida is hosting a watch-along party at the Goldwood for game day, which I'm sure you won't get turned away from if you haven't got a ticket to the game at Tottenham Stadium.
And Jay, another drum roll, please, because we did it last week and it worked really well. The Jags are going to be offering a limited number of tickets to watch practice on Friday the 18th. So keep your eyes on socials and you'll be the first to get details of how you can get to meet some of the players up close. And don't forget, if you're looking for somewhere to escape to from Blighty in the winter, Jags UK have partnered with Elite Sports Travel to bring you the best possible game weekend during week 15 of the season against the New York Jets. It's a 4-night trip, runs from Thursday the 12th to Monday 16th of December with hotel accommodation, tickets to the game on Sunday, and events during the build-up. You can find out more by visiting elitesportstravel.co.uk. That sounds pretty good, Jay.
It does, especially considering the rain has been abysmal over the last few days. So I don't think a bit of winter sun will be all right, to be honest with you, Key.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the TV show, our TV show, Jaguars Weekly, over on Sky Sports NFL. Just wait till the end, Key. Still not enough of us. So putting it out there.
Jay, I'm going to do a version just for you. Just send you a link that's just us.
What is on the Sky Sports show this week, Key?
So we have the highlights of the Texans game, Tony Baselli breaking it down with Reece Parkinson. Then the bit I'm looking forward to most, which is really fun, is Cam Little teaching Reece Parkinson how to kick a field goal. It's a really, really fun section.
Is it fun or is it funny? Are we laughing at Reece or are we laughing with Reece?
I mean, I'm always laughing at Reece. So you choose which side of the path you want to walk.
When and where?
We are on Sky Sports NFL, 9 p.m. Wednesday, and then there are repeats after that, and all the segments will then be on the Jags UK YouTube channel as well.
Okay. Time for the big question. Should we get a fan in, Key? This is where we bring in a Jags fan from the UK and Ireland to ask the big question. Let's say hello to Jags UK superfan Liam Ashburner from Chesterfield. Liam, what's the big question?
Hi, guys. So the big question today, it's a hypothetical one. So if you had to attend a current Jaguars player's Stag Do, whose would it be? What would it consist of?
Oh.
And why would you go?
Okay. This is the most fun question we've had. So, I mean, considering, what's happened so far this season, I feel like this was needed, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Are you planning a Stag Do at the moment, Liam? Is this why this is coming to mind or what?
Yeah, topical, very topical.
Right.
Planning a friend's Stag Do, it was on the agenda today anyway for me. I thought it fits.
Okay. Give me and Key a second so we can just think of one, but I'm hoping that you've thought of an answer, Liam, already. Maybe you've already thought about this.
I have a slight one. I've got a couple of ideas in mind. I've got a wild one and a not so wild one.
I tell you what, we'll do the wild one Give us one for the moment, because I'm scared that what Key usually does is he says, "I've got 8," and then he just says like all of them basically, and it's like, well, that's all
I'll stick with one.
ideas.
I've got 3, but I will give you one.
We'll do the rest after, so we'll stick with one for the moment. So Liam, just give us one for the moment.
Okay, we'll go with the lower key one. Is I would go with Logan Cook, the punter.
Okay.
I know he's into like the outdoors. He's into hunting and stuff like that. I think that'd be a really cool sort of Airbnb out in the wild. A little bit of fishing, a little bit of hunting. I think it'd be quite a low-key affair. I think it'd be quite.
Liam, is it just the 2 of you?
No.
Okay.
The whole team are coming. It's not just the 2 of us.
Just checking.
So you're not a party animal kind of guy on a stag do then?
I'm not. But
you're not thinking let's go trip to Miami for a few days.
The wilder one would probably be more.
All right. Okay, we'll do that in a second. All right, Key, who would you choose?
Okay, I'm going to give you the one that is. So I have 2 other options, but I'll give you the one that actually, if I wanted to get invited by someone, it would be this person. It would be Andrew Wingard. And the reason is because I think it would be in Las Vegas. I think it would be 80s themed. I think there'd be a lot of chest hair on display, a lot of facial hair, a lot of drag. And I think he would probably go down the aisle to some 80s synthwave. And I think it would just be right up my street.
This is so specific. It's a joke. It's like you've had a conversation with him already about this.
I've pictured it many times before.
See, for me, so I recently got married, and I thanks. You've
mentioned it before. You're not going to get congratulated every time.
And it's going okay so far. But my stag do, right? My stag do wasn't. I was really like, I'm in an iron whether I wanted one in the first place, to be honest with you, because like I'm not really like a party animal kind of guy. And then I was thinking about like, do you know what? Some NFL players can be, they can be party animals, but some will grow up, and some stuff that they do will be completely normal to us. Them, sorry, but like for us, it wouldn't be whatsoever. Like, so if you have grown up in Florida, if you went to college in Florida, and then you get drafted by a team from Florida, the chances are that you go out onto the bayou, out onto the swamp, and you have, a nice little fishing trip. That to me sounds like my kind of stag do, to be honest with you. Nice and chilled. And it's actually, the man that we spoke to earlier on in the podcast, Ventrell Miller. He's the guy that he lived in Florida all his life. Now it could be he's never gone
Jay,
fishing.
you've just said the player that's most recently in your mind. That's actually what's happened.
Actually, do you know what? I'll be completely frank and honest with you. I'll tell you what I just did is I thought to myself, fishing. I'm not really a fisherman or anything, but like that fishing in Florida would be kind of fun. It'll be kind of cool. It'll be kind of different. And so I saw the 2023 rookie fishing trip that they took at the beginning of the season. First person that pops up, Ventrell Miller. So I'm like, well, that makes sense. So let's go with him. I haven't got.
Your 2 answers are quite similar.
I think that it sounds like we got like similar sort of vibes for stag do then, Liam. Do you think?
Apparently so. Yeah, a low key activity based thing for me. You can go out and have a party anywhere, I think. But
I'm
for
going
me,
to Vegas and wearing drag. It's quite different, isn't it?
Very different. But to be fair, that sounds good as well. I mean, what was your wild one then, Liam?
I think my wild one would be, I've never met these 2 players. I'd imagine Andre Sisco or Tyson Campbell could really live it up in Miami Beach. And I think that would be a messy night.
I would want to go out with Andre Sisco purely so I could say, going to the disco with Andre Sisco. Do you know what I mean? Jay. Like, purely for that. We can have a savage night out with. No, okay, I'll stop now. I'll stop.
Oh,
we're going through the defensive backs today. yeah. All right. Well, you might as well give us your 7 that you had in mind that are remaining. Key.
It was 2. One of them is who I wouldn't want to go to.
Oh, do it. Go and tell us.
Cam Little, but only because he's 20 years old, and so therefore.
Oh, that would be
no booze involved.
That'd actually be my perfect stag because it'd be chilled. Do you know what I found out? Someone I know the other day said to me that they were in hospital because they'd hurt themselves, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, you okay?" I just found out that he hurt his ankle because he was drunk on a stag do.
The sympathy's gone.
I thought he was practicing field goals or something.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Oh, look,
and the other one would be just because of my current diet, which is a low sugar diet. I thought Chad Moomer's stag do would be quite good because he's type 1 diabetic.
Is that right? I didn't even know that. To be fair,
but genuinely, that was my first answer.
That's that. I mean, if that's your like prerequisite for a stag do, then that is.
I prefer the Vegas.
Yeah.
Lots of sugar. Lots of
neon. Sugar, lots of neon, lots of. I'm imagining that they just get married in Vegas at the end of it as well. Why not combine the whole thing? Walk down the aisle.
One event, one trip.
A chapel. Yeah. Look, Leah, we're going to want your prediction for the upcoming game against the Colts in a second, but first, tell us how you got into becoming a Jags fan.
So I actually have family based out in Florida.
Nice.
We sort of started getting into it, me and my group of friends. So I just looked for a bit of a family tie, someone I could actually speak to on the ground in America. So it was always going to be a Florida-based team. And they live closest to Jacksonville. So I picked them, and I noticed they were coming over to London. So I thought, I can see them live, so to speak, in the UK. I then was speaking to my family out there, and I realised they're actually Pittsburgh Steelers fans. So it sort of backfired. But once I've picked. So that's it. So that was probably circa 2014. So I'm not like a lifelong Jags fan, but certainly for 10 years or so.
Yeah.
Dude, that's very cool. I'm really glad you stuck with the Jags rather than switching over to the Steelers as well. That's good loyalty, man.
Oh no! And some of my favourite memories of the Jags were the 2017 season against the Steelers. So that was really a little camaraderie going on there. So
fantastic.
Camaraderie. I'm sure that's a nice word of putting it.
How many games have you made it to, Liam?
I believe from 2016 we've been every year that we could have been. So I think it's 5 or 6. I think.
Fantastic.
Are you going to be there in a few weeks' time?
Yes, we're at the Patriots game.
Yes.
So yeah, looking forward to it.
I'm excited as well.
Can't wait.
Before you go, Liam, it's the Indianapolis Colts game this coming weekend. So obviously before they head over to London for the games against the Bears and the Patriots. Let's do our predictions. We've been doing this for the whole of the season so far, tallying up who's got closer to the final result. Not been going good. It's me, it's Key, and then the fan, obviously, as well. So you today get to go. I am now 1-0 up, aren't I, Key?
Well, so I've got a bone to pick with you here, Jay, because I don't think you read the small print, and the small print was if you pick the opposing team and get it right, you lose a point. So you're actually on -1.
That small print sounds like standard small print, doesn't it? Just biting you afterwards.
Yes, Jay, you are 1 up on everyone
I'm 1
else.
up.
Well done.
I'm 1 up. But it's not a good cut. I wasn't rooting for myself. Put it this way, at the weekend, I was not rooting for myself.
You almost got the score spot on as well. You were like 3 points off, I think.
Yeah. That's. But again, I would have preferred it to be the other way around. I would have quite liked the Jags to have won that game, to be honest with you. So look, I'm 1-0 up, but it's not a good thing. Let's do the predictions this time around. Liam, do you want to start? What are you saying?
Okay, I think it's a win.
Yeah,
I think it's a win. Score 27 Jags, and they win by only a field goal. I'm saying 24 Colts. So 27-24.
Okay. I think that's the score. Is that the score that I said last week? I think it might have been actually
27-24.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. I think he has been known to come up with some ridiculous score lines. Liam, is he going to do that again today?
I think Jags win 1-0. No. I think close affair. I'm going to go 16-13. I also think field goal. Jags win 16-13.
Okay.
And there's a missed point after attempt this game.
You always have to do that extra one, don't you? That extra little
wrinkle.
If it's right, though, it's so good.
It is, but I mean, like,
what's right, Liam? That's exactly why I do it.
The first week, I can't remember what you said now, but you said that Cam Little was going to do something ridiculous. I can't remember what it was, but needless to say, he was wrong. I'm going to go in between both of you, actually. I think that, and we'll go on to the Colts in a second. Me and Key will sort of preview the game, but I think that there is an opportunity here, actually. I think the Colts are very beatable. They did beat your Pittsburgh Steelers, Liam, in the last game, but
to do with me.
But I think they're a beatable team, and I think this could be a 2014 victory to the Jags. So I'm sort of going in between both of you, right? I think that's sort of how that works.
Yeah.
So we'll see who's closest next week. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed the Jags can get their first win on the board. Liam, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And we'll see you. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Is it 3 Sundays?
See you in Vegas for Andrew Wingard's wedding.
Yeah, I actually hope I get the invite.
yeah. Do you know what? I hope just me and you get the invite, Liam, and then Keith's just left at home.
Send me a photo at least.
Thank you very much to Liam there with the big question.
Big question.
Really, really good. And it has made me reconsider, because I'm planning my brother's stag do at the moment, maybe reconsidering what to do. Either Vegas
more neon,
or going to Florida. More neon. I'll just turn up with it. I think there's like a dozen of us going. I'll just be like, can everyone just wear all this neon?
Open shirts, like, neon, mate. Telling you.
I didn't know that your brother was into that much neon. I'll be like, no, he's not. Okay. We need to move on to this weekend. Jags, obviously 0-4, do not need to remind you. Playing the Indianapolis Colts this weekend. Another divisional matchup at the bank. My favourite thing about this matchup is going to be the throwback uniforms, Key. Arguably, am I biased? Maybe, but maybe the best jerseys in the NFL.
They're so cool,
so good,
aren't they? And also the release video, the like reveal video for it was super cool as well. I like that.
Colts are coming off of a win against the Steelers, who were formerly 3-0, but they do have some injury issues, the Indianapolis Colts at the moment. Anthony Richardson, he came out of the game. Joe Flacco came in, finished off the victory. And as we know, last season when Flacco was with the Cleveland Browns, he's not a bad backup quarterback to have, is he? Though I think really interestingly, they're very different quarterbacks as well. Looks like that Anthony Richardson might actually come back for that game. I think it's going to be really difficult if the Jags aren't aware or not sure which quarterback is going to be playing. They're really different. They're going to have to prepare for them in completely different ways.
Yeah. I think, not to be outrageous, I think Joe Flacco might be the greatest quarterback in the NFL right now. To do what he did, I'm joking, of course, but to do what he did with the Cleveland Browns was impressive. So I think, but you're absolutely right. The way they play is completely different. Hopefully, they'll find out relatively early on in the week whether Anthony Richardson is going to play, and therefore prepare appropriately. But I mean, the run game is going to be one of the biggest things to be thinking about this weekend, right?
The Colts run game.
Yeah,
because Jonathan Taylor had a great game against the Steelers. But he's dealing with a high ankle sprain at the moment. He's another player that we don't know as of recording whether or not he's going to be playing. But there is a difference for this Colts team. This is what I said, earlier on, where I think the Colts are a beatable team right now. It's because they do seem a little bit banged up. I'd have probably said they were beatable anyway, to be honest with you. But you know, Anthony Richardson, hip bruise. Jonathan Taylor, high ankle sprain. Jonathan Taylor, one of the best running backs in the league. Michael Pittman as well suffered a concussion in the Steelers game, so I'm not sure if he's going to be playing against the Jaguars as well. This is an opportunity, and look, I know I've said this before, but this is an opportunity to get that first win for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't think that the Jags should be. I don't think that we can look at this game and thinking, is this going to be another loss? No, this is where the Jags need to get that victory.
I agree. I think this is a team that they can beat them in both games. Last season, it's at home, going into London to get that victory under the Jags' belt, and then you start a streak. I think this is the week for it to start turning around, dude. I really do.
Yeah.
I'm convincing myself as much as anything.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, it'd be great. I mean, to get the win, we'll put the playoffs to one side and just sort of see what happens. The stats are against the Jags at the moment, but, put the playoffs to one side, a win going into the London game, and then who knows what can happen, Jags run defense versus Jonathan Taylor is going to be the big thing. He is a talented rusher of the ball. Combine that with Anthony Richardson, who we have seen has an arm on him, and is a great with his legs as well, and he's a big guy. So the Jags are going to have a lot to deal with.
And either way, Jay, we know that the slow motion highlights in those uniforms, they're going to look fantastic.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Oh. That puts a big smile on my face, genuinely, because there's some throwback jerseys that you look at in the NFL. I'm not saying anybody in particular, New York Giants, but you look at them.
So bad.
You look at them, you're like, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure. But then the Jacksonville Jaguars one comes out, and you're like, oh, yes, that looks really good. Anyway, back next week for the week of the first game in London for the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Chicago Bears. So, look, we're really excited about that for obvious reasons. What are you going to be doing to watch the game this week? Is it a case of having your daughter next to you, your big dog, as you described her?
Well, yeah, we christened my daughter Big Dog last week, but I'll have an actual big dog, but sadly no daughter this weekend.
Oh, right.
She will be in bed this week, so it'll just be me, the big dog, the two screens on the go. What about you, Jay? Have you improved your setup?
Well, recently, I've started. I'm working now, covering the NFL on the radio as well during our Sunday evening. So my setup is a little bit better. I've got lots of screens, but what it does mean is I have to talk about what's going on, which is a whole other thing. There's so much going on at the same time.
The NFL is a week-to-week league.
It's a week-to-week
league. Small
league.
improvements every week, Jay.
Are you saying that about my capability as a broadcaster? Because that's how
I'm saying it about your setup, dude.
Oh, right. Okay. I was about to say, just get that tiny little bit better every week. One day you'll be good.
One day you'll make the big leagues, as my mum used to say.
Back next week. Thank you very much for joining us today on TealTalk. Now, if you're listening for the first time, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you go do that. There's a review bit. There might be a review bit on where you're listening. It would be great if you can give us a nice review, give us 5 stars. Equally, if you're watching on YouTube, you can do the same thing. Comment, that would be great.
Love the comments.
Exactly. Or if you're thinking, Jay, I didn't know that you're on YouTube with TealTalk. We are. So you can go subscribe to Jaguars UK YouTube channel while you're there. Keith, have a good week. I'll speak to you next week. Hopefully we'll be talking about a Jags victory. This was a Shooting Shark production for the Jacksonville Jaguars. UK and Ireland will be back same time, same place next week.